Warning.
Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
The following podcast features terrible jokes.
You know you can use Hot Wheels cars when you need to make a saving throw in D&D? Every car is die-cast.
Usually about board games.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Must insist that no one attempt to recreate any joke performed on this podcast.
We had less technical issues than $1 million company.
All right!
This is Boards and Swords.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Boards and Swords. I'm excited. This is a podcast featuring bad jokes, good folks, and some tabletop games. Who am I? I'm one of your hosts. My name's Chris Renshaw. I'm going to flip it over here and send it that way. That way.
What's going on, everybody? Oh,
Yep. Stuff starts blinking.
there it is.
Good night.
Welcome to this thunderstorm edition on Monday, June 22nd.
Oh, it is the 22nd, isn't it? Yeah. So, I am hooting and hollering and ready to go because I'm refreshed. I just got back from vacation. Hardware's been a little refreshed because I finally bought a new computer. And then of course the rain hits and power starts blinking. But at least It's not like Russell Beetle said earlier. At least you're in a building and not in the camper still.
There we go. That's right. And this is one of those. I feel like I need to go look out my front door and be like, the yard needed this. This will be good for the grass.
That's true. We now both members of this podcast have crossed over into the 40 bracket.
That's right, man.
Also, for those of you that I know they're out there that are older than me, just go ahead and shut up. All right. Don't want to hear it. But if you're younger than me, get off my lawn.
There we go. Damn kids.
Yeah. I guess I probably should have called this episode "This Is 40."
This is 40. That's right. That's right. What's on your desk now that you've turned 40, Chris? See, I've got vitamins and Tylenol.
Fidget spinner.
Okay. Oh, you have a proper bathroom shelf. You can keep that stuff on.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was we got a lot to talk about. It's been probably 3 weeks since we've recorded a podcast.
Yes, it has.
So we don't have a guest today. I honestly, because I hadn't even thought about scheduling stuff past our vacation. So I gotta pull the calendar out and just be like, all right, now who do we want to get? We
needed those days just to nothing.
Yeah,
it was great.
Well, I technically even still did podcast work while we were on.
That's right.
Vacation.
I saw him.
I was editing all the shows that we had recorded. But speaking of that's in the past. We're in the present. Let's talk about some news. If I try to be more fashionable with my pants, does that mean I'm going for a certain aesthetic? I felt bad for doing a joke on this one, but John, this came out. This was one of those stories that I got told about 5 times. It's over 5 different, the Office Space of I have 8 different bosses. I had people messaging me did you hear John Blanche died? Did you hear John Blanche died? So John Blanche, father of Warhammer 40K's grimdark aesthetic, has died. So this guy is if you want to talk about grimdark, this is the grimdark father, the grim father. He is the grim reaper of the grimdark. One of the joint creators of Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 and the animating force of the grimdark art style has died. Broke the news. Trish Carden broke the news in her Facebook group on Wednesday. Carden's post states that John Blanche's wife Lynn has asked me to let you know that he passed away a couple days ago, that the family will say goodbye to John privately, but there will be a get-together in the future for everyone to celebrate John's life. Born in 1948 in post-war Britain, his early career was as a freelance illustrator, producing covers and illustrations. His first contract was the cover art for issue 4 of White Dwarf magazine in 1977. So this is before Games Workshop even like made minis games. I think that was back when Games Workshop was like their biggest claim to fame was they sold the Dungeons and Dragons game in Britain. Like they were the local distributor for D&D in the UK.
Okay.
But yeah, he became a regular cover artist for Warhammer Fantasy Battle, the first edition in 1983. He contributed sculpts to the Creatures of Chaos range. Like this guy, you know, did it all. He was the art director and contributor to the original Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Traeger rulebook in 1987, which I have down there somewhere. Like the reprint, not the original. They did a reprint a couple years ago. Let's see. Yep, your iconic Golden Throne of Terra. So it's really funny. Not about him passing, but like literally around the same time that he died was like when one of the new Warhammer 40K trailers came out to promote the new edition, and everyone was talking about like, did the Emperor twitch?
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew it. John Blanche was just holding the Emperor on his throne. Like
That's what it was. Yeah, exactly.
Actually, somebody was talking about like, what if the thing was the trailer was AI generated, and that's why it twitched, because it just like messed up some of the frames, and like, wouldn't that be the perfect snake eating its tail of abominable intelligence creating the 40K trailers? So, let's see. Yeah, like if any of the old school like iconic artwork you've ever seen from 40K, there's a good chance that Blanche probably did it. So that was where the whole grimdark or gothic sci-fi, he tended to refer to it as Baroque. Drew inspiration from contemporary punk fashion, pop culture, the painters of Northern Renaissance. So I'm not even going to try and pronounce those. Military artists and more. Yeah. Let's see what else we got in here. So, oh wow, he was still making stuff until June 2023. I thought he had stopped doing things for Games Workshop long before that. That's crazy. So his last contribution to tabletop game was to design the characters for On Guard, a 1v1 dueling game with rules by his former colleague Tomas Pirin, which I'm pretty sure is the guy behind Trench Crusade. So yeah,
54 millimeter scale. Okay,
that's closer to like Halo, the
Okay.
Halo miniatures game size. Like 40K is like 32 millimeters. I think Halo could be 45. Somebody will correct me, but it could be where is it? What was the thing? It was 54. I think 54 millimeter.
Yeah.
There was also a game they did back in. Somebody will correct me, but I want to say it was in the 90s. There was a game called Inquisitor that did larger minis, larger style minis. So, all right. Up next, let's see. Up next, I wrote a movie about a ship of pirates that adopt a bunch of cats and the hijinks that ensue. It's called Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Got him! Got him!
Every time you just let that go, it's great.
you gotta, yeah.
You know, whenever somebody's like, I wish they would stop making Zombicide games. Why do they make more Zombicide games? I just would like you to, well, let me go this way. Just show them this article.
Yeah.
Why do they still make the games? Because they make money. Asmodee's pushing the crowdfunding scores first success with $4.1 million for Zombicide Dead Men Tales. So, like, this is crazy because, like this campaign has raised more than any other Zombicide game.
Oh, wow.
Like, that just goes to show you how it had nothing to do with, like, I mean, Granted, maybe it's the fact that we've been separated from a good or from like a Zombicide release in a while, and just people their wallets have recovered, or maybe just the fact that they're just hoping Asmodee has a little bit better track record these days.
Yeah, that could be too.
But like they've raised more than $4.1 million on GameFound. Board game giants Asmodee's strategic push into crowdfunding passed its first major test with its debut campaign in the Zombicide universe, raising more than $4.1 million. Yeah, so this is the biggest mainline Zombicide crowdfunding in almost a decade, with Zombicide Green Horde having picked up just over $5 million in 2017, although the biggest crowdfunding success in the range. So I guess this, was the Marvel Zombies at just over $9 million. So, maybe not like the most, but still, like, CMON, it's like, hey, all you had to do was just keep making the games and actually put them out. Like, and that's the thing with like Zombicide. Usually I only throw like 1 or 2 innovations in there. Boom. Heck, I think I'm getting to the point with like my zombie, like I've only played my original Zombicide Black Plague like once or maybe twice, but I'm kind of to the point I may just disassemble the whole thing and just put it into like my I'm starting a minis bin for D&D and just putting all the minis into that, because a lot of like that fantasy with like the heroes and everything.
Yeah,
And then like I just shove the boards in a bin somewhere, and then it's like, okay, on the one time that somebody may want to play Zombicide, but I don't need to carry the boxes around.
Well, hell, you look at that picture, that's a pirate port town map right there, ready to rock.
Yeah. That and the fact of like, for 200, like I have not let me actually, you know what? Let's click the thing here. Is it over yet? Oh, it's a late play. Okay. Yeah, it is over. 4.1 million. Let's see. How much is it to back? Rewards. So, $500
The
for
ultimate
everything. But that gives you the Zombicide board game and the RPG, including all the comics, but also the bling accessories. Let's see. What else have we got? Okay, so $300 for all the gameplay products tied to the pirate setting. Okay, so like all the pirate stuff, $300. How many minis is that? Like,
God, core box is 110.
yeah, I mean that actually that doesn't surprise me. Well, you got to think about it. Like, the Warhammer Armageddon box was $300. Hey, but you can also pay for it for
That's right, you can break it down into payments. I did see that.
yeah, $300 for $42 a month. Wait, how much is it for that $500? $71 a month.
Yeah.
Okay, but like, I want to see how many minis come in one. How many minis come in just the core box? All right, they're not. I'm in rewards. I need to be in project. Let's see here.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Here we go.
what's
What
that?
be in the box?
Oh, is there a separate thing for that?
Well, yeah, keep going down. You'll see. All right, we've got. Let me pull up a calculator here.
Oh.
We got 10 plus 42.
What are you doing? What is this for?
Huh? Oh, this is the what be in the box.
Well, I know, but is this for everything or?
I think this is just the core box.
Okay.
Yeah, core box is 10 plus 42. 10 plus 40. Okay, it's 52
52 minis for $100 is
in the core
actually
box.
not a bad price.
With the extra, survivor dashboards, color bases, trackers, double-sided game tiles.
I mean, I'm just saying,
and-
even if you don't like, that's the one thing that, like, one reason people bought CMON games. Like, I knew several people that did not care at all for the mini or for the games. They were like, those minis are really cool, and I know a game that I can use that for.
Mhm.
Because what'd you say, 52 for 100?
Mhm.
So that's like each mini is roughly $2. Like, even if you're 3D printing minis, you're just over your cost of resin is probably closer to like $1. I don't know. Actually, I can't say that. But yeah, so like, can you imagine just how much you get for that like big huge box?
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, at $110, that's kind of tempting just to get some pirate minis,
Mm-hmm. Pirate zombie minis.
pirate zombie mini. Well, no, because also the pirate survivors.
That's right.
And then you can like look on here, like here be monsters. You got orcs, goblins. Come on now.
Extra pirate ghost zombies. Oh, those are translucent.
Nice. Look at these skull dice. Those are kind of cool. Oh, here you were talking about these, the pirate ghost zombies.
Yeah.
I don't even think you would. I don't even know if I would paint those, other than maybe like a wash, just to kind of bring out the color or bring out the detail a little bit.
Is it does a glow in the dark wash exist?
I mean, yes, kind of.
Just to accentuate some random part, like especially the eyes.
Yeah. I mean, you could use fluorescent paints react with ultraviolet.
Yeah.
And you could do it that way. And then all you'd have to do is just thin them down or use like fluorescent inks. But this guy's skull kind of reminds me of Red Skull right here.
All smooth on the top like that. I did see
Yeah.
that.
Philip, how am I getting talked into backing a Zombicide game? in
I don't know, man.
2026? Oh man. All right. Let's move. Let's move. Or actually, let's see.
Oh, hey, the
anything else?
comics have minis too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Kept scrolling down. What's it? Black Plague. Okay, so these are out of order, I guess. Black Plague Volume 1 comes with 15 miniatures. Black Plague Volume 2 comes with 4 miniatures.
Yep. And then you got the Plague Bearer role-playing game.
Oh, yeah. Company of the Gallows Volumes 1 and 2 is 11 miniatures total.
All right. Let's move on. Philip, I threw this one in here just for you.
Okay.
I like a lot of different music genres, but I'm not a huge fan of R&B. You could say I'm pretty console. So apparently, there's a company called Board. The startup making a $400 board game console leans into AI-powered designs after raising another $20 million. So, hybrid physical and digital game console maker Board that is the greatest name ever, and I'm totally not being
Yes.
sarcastic. Has raised another $20 million in venture capital and amid plans to launch a AI-powered game design platform. Philip, how could this go wrong?
No, I'm looking at the next sentence. It launched last year.
Hmm.
Where was I?
Well, it's launched. It says launch. What does that mean, though?
Their website has a shop now button.
Well, it says startup making. It doesn't say like it's produced. Launched, I guess, could be they started taking orders.
All right, let's read.
Let's see. They've raised $35 million in external funding since the touchscreen device was launched in October last year. It was accompanied by a suite of 12 initial games, including Omikaze from veteran board game creator Bruno Cathala, which makes use of physical pieces that interact with the digital board. The company claims thousands of developers are starting to create games for board using its software development kit, although it has yet to publicly announce any tie-ups with existing board game publishers or other designers. Along the funding announcement, board said it would unveil an AI platform later this year. Which allows users to build their own games using natural language prompts. So taking a game from idea to playable prototype can be done in less than an hour. Ooh, yay. All right.
Okay. I mean, these videos are looking kind of nifty.
Yeah, but it's like, how many times have we seen people like decry heavily in the board game and RPG space the use of AI, and people are like, "Hey, we're gonna make a really expensive thing that you then have to pay extra to get actual games for, and by the way, those games are going to be using AI."
Well, just that. Well, hang. What did the article? Hang on. Go back. What did the article say?
It's using like people could use AI to build games.
To build other games. Yes. Yeah. It doesn't say that the company itself is directly using AI to create games.
Yes, but they are.
They are giving you tools.
They are giving you AI tools to do it.
Okay, some of these reviews have to be bought. It's a where's the one star
General
reviews?
partner at board investor Union Squares Ventures cited Roblox as a successful example of that model. Yes, because Roblox is what we should be aiming for as a society.
Wait, I didn't put. Oh.
Although that platform has faced repeated criticism for recent years for financially exploiting young developers and putting pressure on children to spend money.
Okay, this has to be crap.
Oh, look at this. Hold on. Before you talk about that, I just want to talk about the irony here. I grew up playing Super Nintendo and Nintendo, grew out of technology change, so I turned into like, this is the guy, like a head investor. Also, that's kind of funny, the cat walking in the background. Transitioned to like Warcraft and all this, but now I'm looking for reasons to put away my phone, to be present with others. So what do? Is I make a big, huge screen that I can then play my board games on.
With others.
With others. I guess that's true. Let me put away my phone and pull out this big phone. All right, now what are you talking about?
Okay, see that's a valid thing. The lowest rating is 4 stars. Out of 5.
Is the thing even out yet?
Yeah, it's out. It's in my it's in the cart on the website. I could order it.
So, previous attempts to make a hybrid digital physical board game console include The Last Game Board, which raised more than $185,000 through a Kickstarter campaign in 2020 and followed that up with $6 million in venture capital funding. So, this very same concept, but they shuttered in 2024. With CEO and co-founder saying that the company managed to overcome the lag and inconsistency in its touchscreen tech to allow for a mass consumer release.
I can see that. Sometimes the bigger the touchscreen, there is a bit of a lag in there.
Yeah. Also, is it just me or is that kind of tiny?
It's a 24-inch screen.
Like, yeah, 24-inch screen. That's like the size of this monitor for playing games.
Yeah.
Although I will say, if anybody's trying to like get components and stuff for like board game, like, you know what this would be great for is like minis agnostic skirmish games. Where you could load up whatever map and terrain and whatever, and then like maybe you just sell like mini bases that you just set your mini in, and then you could say like, oh, this mini is this guy and whatnot, and then like you could the the game would tell you like who do you have line of sight on, and like what's the modifier to hit that guy, or that kind of stuff, because it would know where all the pieces are and who behind what terrain and whatnot. In fact, you could even sell like terrain templates that you could then put down and put like terrain on to make the map.
Make the map. Yeah, if you scroll down a little bit to the R Tech section, wait, what page are you on?
Oh,
We're
I'm
on the
just
same
on
page.
the main page.
Oh, we're on the same page. What the heck is going on? Oh, there you go. Now you go down to the R Tech section.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, and it shows if you pay attention to those squares, there's a directional marker line pointing out of them
of like how they got put on the thing.
Yeah, which way they're looking. So I mean, that's if it's cool and quick and responsive, then yeah, it could be a good thing to do.
I just don't see enough people buying a $400 device to make like this thing stay profitable. Like to the point where someone, because like all the just support that's good this is going to require. Like I just don't see enough people buy, like,
there's only 4 4-star reviews too. So because like there are 340 total reviews, and when you go all the way up to the very top of the thing, it shows you that there are 336 5-star reviews.
Let's see all reviews.
Oh, here we go.
What do the 4-star reviews say?
Let's see. Yeah, lowest rating. One wants more traditional games like chess and Connect 4, tic-tac-toe, that kind of stuff. This is actually oh no, there are more than 4 4-star reviews.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see it.
Some of these feel like, reading some of these 4-star reviews, it's those people who like don't believe in 5-star reviews.
Yeah. I don't know, like this is another one of those like the last time we were talking about all the drops and stuff that Wizards of the Coast is doing, and people are like, I like the concept, I just don't trust who's behind it. This is kind of one of those boats where like it's a bunch of venture capitalist money. They're wanting to use like AI platforms to quickly churn out games on it. Like, I just don't trust the people behind this. Versus like if, even Asmodee was like, we're developing this thing. Now, I'm sure they would have to get venture capitalist money in order to be able to do that, to like buy the cost down.
Yes.
But I don't know. That's the rest of the article. So there you go. If you want to spend $400 to play games on a screen, then there you go. You know what I feel like is a better... I feel like... I think we need to go Kaibacore on this.
Okay.
I feel like the path forward is not the screen, but like projections, and like not even like the full-on Yu-Gi-Oh! That style, but like...
Oh no, we need the dual discs.
Sure, but I'm saying like before I even get to that, but like just like instead of spending $400 on a small little, basically iPad Plus, like what if you just had like a camera projector that would project out like your board, and then it would OCR recognize the pieces.
That exists.
But I feel
that
like
exists.
I feel like that's got to be way cheaper. Like
that exists. It was card based. And
you're talking about that used that. I think that used you're talking about the PlayStation Eye.
Well, no, not the. Well, it was a camera that sat above your table.
Yeah.
And it looked at your cards, and then it did Yu-Gi-Oh, and it put them on your screen. So like when you did attacks and stuff.
Let's develop that a little more.
Yes.
Because, like, what if it was a camera and a projector? Anyways, here I am giving free ideas out again.
Right. Don't do that.
All right.
Oh, I was looking up a standard dreadnought in 40K
Yeah,
is a 60 millimeter base.
that tracks.
Yeah. So the 54 millimeter, was that
Yeah,
that one
something
game?
like that.
Yeah. So it's like roughly that size is
Yeah.
your standard.
If two retrievers work together, is that considered a collab? Designers support BackerKit's collab funding, say there's no crowdfunding fatigue. So I thought this was a good mirror to talking about. We talked about GameFound and their like RPG party thing that they were doing, and how as we were reading the article, we thought of better ways to do what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Whereas this article, like BackerKit seems like, I just feel like BackerKit has a better idea of what people want. Instead of trying to like make their platform, make people want their platform. Like that's where it was like, as soon as BackerKit said we're starting our website, I was like, they're gonna do great because everybody's already tied into their system.
Yeah, I mean that's before any of the others came out. I mean, like my very first Kickstarter I ever funded.
Yeah.
I think I had to ask you. I was like, it's sending me to this thing called BackerKit. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
And you were like, oh yeah, it's like Kickstarter gets the money and BackerKit sends out the stuff.
Yeah. So there's a really long article here, but basically talking about how let's see, let me get into the but one of the well-known crowdfunding platforms for tabletop games, BackerKit, begs to differ. If there's fatigue, we haven't seen it. If anything, backers keep coming back hungry for more, said BackerKit co-founder and chief creative officer Yosana Yao in an email to Rascal. To see, I'm making sure that, yeah, okay. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss where they define collab funding. Collab funding grew 2.5 times in project volume in nearly 2 years in funding year over year. That's fandom with no signs of fatigue. So yeah, collab funding is basically where creators launch products together under a specific unified theme. So it's done in a few different ways. Firstly, the site claims a lofty vision for crowdfunding that is centered around tight-knit collaboration and community for creators, a deliberate effort to distinguish themselves from other platforms. And they pointed out that collab funding has driven higher success rates than traditional crowdfunding for creators using BackerKit. So this is like, for instance, we were talking about that Mega Dungeon month. That's it's really weird that they don't talk about that one in here. Maybe it didn't do as well. But there was some like Zine Quest, Zinetopia, Old School Essentials month. There was like a Mothership month, Orbital Blues month. There was the Mega Dungeon month, where it's like, here's a theme. Everybody make projects for that theme. They're all going to launch at the same time. They're all going to run for that month. And like, then there was also the thing with Mega Dungeon where you got something if you backed more than if you backed at least 2 people in there, then you got something from everybody kind of thing.
You got something from everybody. You backed 5 people, you got some more stuff from everybody,
yeah.
and it just kept building on that. Yeah.
So this is crazy here. In 2025, all 289 Topia projects, this was Zinetopia, I believe is what it was called. All 289 Topia projects achieved a 100% success rate. Every project that was a part of that collab funded. Every single one. And they even say that's higher than our industry-leading 91% campaign success rate on BackerKit. So, like, they were, I mean, even in the GameFound article we talked about where they were doing the RPG party, they said there was like all but 6 funded in there. Like 100% funded. And I feel like it's not a oh, we're just getting too fatigued out on campaigns. It's people are tired of the wrong people using crowdfunding. People are tired. I mean, go back to the first article where we just saw like 4.1 million people spent stuff for Asmodee on GameFound. So take everything I'm about to say with a pinch of salt. But like the Asmodees and the CMONs and the big companies, people are tired of those. But like these kind of collabs is kind of getting back to the point of crowdfunding in the beginning. Was that the idea was that anybody could have their idea, put it out there, and get it funded. And this is kind of like helping that random person where, you know, it's somebody's like, I've got a really cool mothership. Mothership is an indie RPG, by the way, for those that, but like, I've got a really cool mothership idea that I really want to do, but like hardly anybody, it's a very niche kind of game. BackerKit goes, well, we're going to do a mothership month where a bunch of people that like mothership are going to be looking at all these other people that like mothership and all these creators. So what do we need to do to get you on that? And like, you know, get you a project in on there. And suddenly now you're getting, you know, way more people than you would have normally if you just gone to Kickstarter and like, hey, I got this weird mothership hack that I made. But now you've got like people like looking through all the different campaigns going like, I really like mothership, or I really like mega dungeons, and just kind of backing stuff. Heck, there was a couple of things I just backed. Actually, that's funny. I got one of the Cobalt Press thing I backed on Mega Dungeon Month arrived literally today.
Oh, nice.
Hastening Doom.
Ooh.
Yeah. Doom. That was really funny because it thundered right when I said that.
As the thunder rolls right when you're like,
Hastening Doom.
But these stats that you're pulling up in the pinkish color there,
Yeah.
those are, I mean, a 31% average overlap in shared backers.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Just
Yeah.
like put it when you grouping. It was the early days of TikTok. When there were less e-thoughts and more just like weird things coming over from Facebook.
Yeah.
One of them was a semi-instructional, informational kind of video. And it was like, okay, you got a town and there's two fast food joints sort of a distance from each other.
Yeah.
Well, then you're guaranteed to get 50% of the town spread out between those restaurants.
Right.
But if you put the restaurants right next door to each other, 100% of the town has to come right there to both those restaurants. And then, oops, you know, restaurant on the left, the line's out the door. I'm going to the restaurant on the right because the line's pretty short. And it keeps fluctuating like that. You get more customers when you're crammed into that smaller area. And that's what they did here. Mothership month.
Yeah. Like it says here, 34%. So a third of the people that back pledges in these collabs pledge to more than one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then over a third of the Topia creators have had their biggest project in a BackerKit Topia. And this is kind of like great. This is where it's like understanding your platform and what it's good at. This is where like what I was trying to say of like it sounds like GameFound is doesn't fully understand what their platform was good at per se. But like here, it's like other platforms cast creators as competitors on what is essentially an e-commerce site and wish them luck as they hope for site traffic, better platform placement, and all the other things they have no control over. At BackerKit, we give creators more control and agency to choose their next adventure. Traditional, solo player crowdfunding, and multiplayer collaborative crowdfunding are available. That's actually kind of an interesting way of thinking about it, of like solo versus multiplayer. Like we've basically like crowdfunding has just been us doing solo gaming this whole time. And then someone rolls around and was like, what if we had the internet and did multiplayer? So, yeah, no, this is... Here we go. Look, listen, look, here. This is exactly what you were talking about. When we introduced an incentive to back at least 5 projects, participation jumped 439% over those who backed just 4. So, like, that is the platform genuinely helping you, an independent creator, get other people to you in ways that isn't like, oh, you got to pay us money to get us better ad placement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is them giving you the tools in the background to get people incentive to coming over to your stuff. Like, that's crazy. So.
Oh yeah, that's the next one. Like each creator made a unique zine page of anything they wanted, and then it all got popped into a single PDF that if you
Right.
backed at least 3 projects,
Yep, that's the like.
you got a fancy reward.
Yeah.
It's great.
I don't know if I've downloaded my. Here's your you backed everything or you backed stuff. Here's your PDF. Just because.
You sure can do that because they delete those sometimes.
It's just been it's been a crazy couple months. Let's see what else is on here. Someone was like, I've only been running crowdfunding campaigns around theme months because of the sense of community it creates, but also the interest it attracts both from press and from the general public. That's true. Like, like this article, or, there was the article we looked at for Mega Dungeon Month, where it's like, if you just make your mothership hack, I'm going to keep coming back to that. Your mothership hack, you throw it up on a website or you throw it up on Kickstarter. Maybe if it does gangbusters day one, maybe a media site maybe picks it up and goes, hey, maybe you want to look at this thing here. But like, if you're a part of like a mothership month and Rascal, I got a funny story to tell now about the cat, but I'll wait. But like maybe you've got like they're now doing like a mothership month article to talk about all the different projects. You're now going to maybe getting featured. And if you're not featured in the article, people still that may not even know there was a mothership month are going to click that article, go to all the projects listing, and there's a possibility they see yours. This is great. I don't know why you wouldn't want to run a campaign. Like if you're making, I don't know how they are for like other board games or whatnot, but specifically for RPGs, if you're not like making stuff on BackerKit, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like there's no reason, like if they're being this helpful and this cross promotive to be like put your RPG campaigns on BackerKit. Hi, bud. You gonna come up here? All right, cat story. So I mentioned to you the other day how Winchester's developed the habit of playing catch with the mice.
Mm-hmm.
For those, there was something that my older cat once did, and now my youngest cat has picked it up. Now that she's gone. Well, Oscar just made a cry. I've been playing with him a lot, throwing like a little toy mouse, and he runs and grabs it and brings it back. Well, Oscar just made a noise and came into my room just holding a mouse in his teeth. I was like, what about me? So, anyways, that threw me off for a sec. All right, moving on. So, I got to throw out some congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes for their Stanley Cup win. But did you hear they had to blur out the live feeds of the celebrations afterwards? Apparently, it was a real Flashpoint. All right, so we're coming up on the second year anniversary of Halo Flashpoint, the miniatures game from Manic Games, and we're already getting Halo Flashpoint 1.5. So, rules changes, new starter options, and Zeta Halo terrain, which Zeta Halo apparently is from the Halo Infinite.
Yes.
So, over the last 18 months, Halo Flashpoint has grown from a focused Spartan versus Spartan skirmish game into one of the most accessible, and rapidly expanding tabletop systems on the market. With new factions, organized play, support, and a growing miniature range, they've now unveiled, Mantic Games has unveiled Halo Flashpoint 1.5, which that's true about the accessibility, because since you don't have to put together the minis, and they're already like pre-colored into like different colors, like red and blue, and I don't know if they did anything else other than red and blue, but still, where it's like you just take the box, pop it open, and start playing.
There you go.
There's no assembling. So this is not a new addition. You won't need to relearn the game from scratch, as the core mechanics remain unchanged. Instead, it consolidates 18 months of FAQs, errata, and supplementary rules into a single volume while introducing targeted balance adjustments and keyword refinements. So basically they're just updating the rule book, making the keywords a lot more consistent. So I thought this was neat because it was also like you hear new edition or new rule set, and like other games like Games Workshop would sell you like a whole box and a whole new codex and whatever. So first of all, Mantic Games does have a web app that has the rule system on it. It's like a $3 a month subscription, and if you pay that subscription, the rules have automatically updated. And I mean, it is. I've subscribed on and off based on when I'm playing it. Like when I'm playing, it's actually really helpful because it'll have the unit cards, and you can click on like the keywords on the unit cards, and like what does that keyword do again? Oh, okay. So yeah, most of the unit cards remain valid, while updated profiles will be clearly identified. So not only that, all the starter boxes are getting refreshed with the new rules being put in them. So granted, for a couple of months now, it may be like, which version of the rules did you get in your thing?
Yeah.
But honestly, if they were smart, they would have waited for the supply to run low, and when they needed to like reorder stuff to then announce this. But here's the other big thing, is they're making just a standalone rulebook pack, which granted, you know, Games Workshop and other people sell rules and stuff too, but this is like a whole pack where it's like, okay, the rule book, which is just, you know, a pamphlet basically, a token sheet, and then some terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, I'm not. Oh, wait a minute. Do they have a price for this? I'm curious because. Okay, I was about to say $20. It's €20, so that's probably what, like $35.
It's 20 pounds, but yeah.
Oh, did I say euros? Oh, yeah, I meant pounds.
Which is
$30. Okay, so even
$30.
better. $30
Yeah,
for that is not bad.
That's a eat at home tonight.
I mean, for a couple maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you could go out, appetizer tip, have a beer.
Sure, fair.
Yeah.
But like, and that's not even just the rules. Like you'll pay twice as much as that just for the new 40K rulebook, and that's just the rules.
Yep.
Whereas here you're getting like all the tokens. So like literally, you know, you could honestly, the other thing of this is that you don't even need to buy a starter box. This is why they were talking about like this game is so beginner friendly. You don't have to buy a starter box because they've got the like. Well, let me go on their actual website. Let me go on there. Let's see, Flashpoint. So like, say you're just wanting to get started with stuff. This also all that includes that. Let me try and get to like just the. All right, here we go. Let me see. All right, I'm trying to find like the standalone. Okay, here we go. Like this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and then let me switch to the. Yeah, so like, say, you know, you don't want to buy a whole big box. You know, you don't got the space for it, but like you really like the ninnies here for this Fire Team Grizzly here. $45. And say you've already bought that and you've just been playing with other people's stuff. Now $30, you can have all your tokens and the rules and even a piece of terrain to throw on there. Now, granted, both of those cost like the price of like a starter box per se, but you're also not getting a whole lot of terrain in that. And maybe you don't need all the extra minis. But like just saying, and this is also the newer stuff. Like I can imagine some of the stuff you could find real cheap on like Amazon. In fact, part of me wants to pull up Amazon and then look to see like how much some of the fire teams are. Like I'm pretty certain you can get some of the fire teams for like $20-$30. So not only that, but like they've talked about all the new everything, the easier entry points. So yeah, here you go. You can get the rules independently. This provides a much lower barrier entry for hobbyists curious about the game. Talking about how they're refreshing the rule book. They've got some new releases coming out for the existing fans. The new Zeta Halo gaming mat, inspired by Installation 07 from Halo Infinite. So the full color non-slip mat provides an immersive battlefield for competitive and casual play. And then future-proofing the game will have like basically they want to like work towards there's the big team battles that they're trying to do, and they've got upcoming releases down the line that they apparently want to get. They want to have mature the rule, clarify the rules for. So, all right.
And there's been a lot of X-Wing did this when they came out with their second edition. Basically, they sold an upgrade pack.
Yeah.
Of all the character cards and
I don't know if I
add-on
would use
cards and
X-Wing
stuff.
though, because a lot of people hated that. And then also they hated it, but then they did that 2.5 update and they hated that because it like that's where like they changed it so it was not even worth taking like basic pilots anymore. They like completely changed the way the game played. All right. This just reminds me I need to play more Halo Flashpoint.
Well, there you go. Oh, there was also that game that I haven't played at all that I bought at CMON Expo all those years ago. Because like I bought all the stuff they had.
Yeah.
And the upgrade kit because they had the upgrade kit
Bones.
sitting there. Rum and Bones, that's right.
All right. Speaking of pirate minis.
Yarg.
Oh boy. I've seen a lot of gemstone dice being sold, but I'm surprised no one has made CMONs. This is one of those stories of capitalism doing capitalism things that just kind of sucks. Paizo lays off 12 employees in the fallout of Diamond Comics bankruptcy. So Diamond Comics declared bankruptcy, like 2 years ago? I'm sure they'll probably talk about it in here. But Paizo announced it plans to lay off 12 workers as a direct result of the Diamond Comics painful and exacting bankruptcy. And a June 8th post, Jim Butler, the CEO, explained how the year-long battle of attrition with its former distributor left the company with no recourse but to reduce staff. So let me see. Let me get into... Okay, never mind. It was early 2025. So yeah. Diamond Comics declared bankruptcy in early 2025 after many years of financial difficulty. So here's what happened. JP Morgan Chase and other lenders claimed huge swaths of Diamond's business and stock, including unsold inventory of tabletop RPG publishers like Paizo and Green Ronin Publishing. Since that stock was provided on consignment, the publishers would only be paid when the books get sold. Butler claimed the distributors holding nearly $10 million in RPG books, games, and other inventory when the bankruptcy proceedings begin. So, like, you had no idea that this distributor was having financial troubles. You've been giving them a bunch of product to keep stock so that like when a store, because you so hold on, I guess I need to back up here. I have a comic book store. I want to have a couple of D&D or Pathfinder books in my comic book store. I reach out to Diamond Comics and I say, hey, I would like a box of Pathfinder player rule books. They then ship out, I pay them money, they ship it out. So that's like, as Paizo, they want to have stock in Diamond Comics so that when that when that business wants to refine them, or when those books get sold and they want to buy another box of books, that they're there and Diamond Comics can just send them out. So like you want to have stock in your distributors, and then the distributor goes, hey, we're declaring bankruptcy, yeet. And then they're like, but you've got $10 million worth of my stuff. And so like that's one of those like accounts payables, accounts receiving things where it's like you've got outstanding stock just sitting out there that's like not getting paid. You've basically funded the cost of all these books, and they've just been sitting out there not getting paid. And now, let's see, the publisher reportedly lost $2 million in sales through 2025 and were forced to write off another $500,000 in sales that were covered by the bankruptcy, alongside them then spending money into court proceedings to try and get them to release the stock that they have. So because of all that, now we back up to the beginning of the thing where it's like, okay, well now, like, you've been trying your hardest to get the stuff, and it's just been sitting down to like $10 million worth of stock is not like, for a company like maybe for a company like Hasbro, that's like chump change.
Yeah.
But for a company like Paizo, that's a significant amount of money. So it's like, well, if you're not getting your money back, you've got really no choice but to fire people or to lay people off. But so they've been coordinating with the United Paizo Workers Union on the layoff process, giving those affected 20 days notice and proposing alternative cuts wherever possible. According to Butler, Paizo employees could voluntarily accept layoff. Otherwise, the process selected the least senior employee in each impacted business unit. Layoffs are expected to be finalized by the end of June. Anyone laid off will receive a minimum of 2 weeks severance plus another week for each year of service. They'll also maintain 18 months of recall rights, which allow affected employees to be hired back if their financial situation improves, such as the old job becomes available again. Yeah, so first of all, this is like why we have unions.
Right.
Like, this is the whole point of they go on to talk about here, like, these are the reasons we have unions. But like, the situation sucks, but at least it sounds like Paizo's not just like, they're not doing this because they didn't hit their shareholder, they didn't make enough money for their shareholders. Like, this is like, we need to like make ourselves money again so that we can keep making these products. This is the way we're going to be able to, given the constraints that we have in with Diamond going bankruptcy, this is what we have to work with. But at least there's also a lifeline there so that if tomorrow, say, the bankruptcy case evens out and they manage to get that stock and resell it, like, cool, we've managed our books a little bit better. Hey, why don't you, have you found a job yet? Because we got your old one ready.
Your desk is still right there, buddy.
Yeah. And I do like that they had the volunteer part, because that's always nice of like, you know, maybe it's your, God damn it, I was only 5 days away from retirement.
Yeah.
Actually, considering you got an extra year of or an extra week of severance for every year that you were, like, if you were on 29 and you had like 1 year left before, like, let's assume a standard 30 year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know if Paizo's been around 30 years, maybe. But, like, let's just assume that's an extra, like, that's like half a year. That's over half a year.
2002.
Okay, so 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's almost exactly half a year that if you've been working there since the beginning and you're like, I've just been kind of riding this out to retirement. That, you know. So.
Yeah, but then you're not getting laid off because you're definitely not the least senior.
Well, I'm talking about the if you took the volunteer.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you volunteer, like, I'll, you know, like, I'm just riding out until retirement. I'll go now so that, like, you know, someone that needs the job can stay, kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Okay, where are we at? You could tell that getting old was on my brain based on this next story. You know you're getting old when your favorite cartoon is now the same name as your stomach doctor, G.I. Joe. Uh-oh. You there, Philip?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, it just went real quiet.
Yeah, why did that go super quiet?
Anyways, D&D 5.5e set to replace the Essence 20 system for Renegade after poor sales. I kind of saw this happening from a long time ago. When the average person thinks tabletop RPG, this is from Wargamer, their minds inevitably wander to Dungeons and Dragons. This popularity means a huge player base, but it's a double-edged sword. Every alternative RPG fan knows how tough it can be to move players away from the D&D system. That's how you get things like Cyberpunk 2077 and 5e, despite Cyberpunk already being an RPG in itself. This is also going to play in some of the later stories we have. This is the dilemma faced by TTRPG publisher Renegade as they shift to 5.5 products. So they've been making games for Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Transformers, announced that they would be moving away from their homegrown system, Essence 20, to focus on creating products within the D&D 5.5e system. Iconic characters such as Red Ranger and Snake Eyes must now use D&D classes for their builds. This was done to be a lower barrier to entry for the larger player base of 5.5e, and then the article goes into talking about like why this is the decision. Yeah, you know what? Because Essence 20 sucked. Like, I got the Transformers RPG book, the I guess first edition, because they just announced that these are going to be like second edition games.
Mm-hmm.
Essence 20 was like, what if we wanted to make our own version of D&D, but made it more complicated and gave you more things to track, just for no other reason than to give us, like, to make the game stand out from D&D. Like, fundamentally, it's just adding more clunkiness and more mechanics to track for the sole purpose of, like, making it so it's not legit D&D. When you could just make legit D&D for free, technically, because it's the OGL is still in existence.
Yep.
And more people will play because they don't have to learn a new system. I always thought that these products needed to be standard 5th edition based anyways. I was kind of hoping they were, and then when I saw it wasn't, I was kind of like, okay, well, let me like read the system. Then I saw the system, I was like, this is not good. This is like I was having trouble reading it. Now, granted, maybe it's just because they wrote bad rule books, but that's also possible too. But like, I was just having trouble. Like, wait, what does that do again? And you hear people talking about like, me again, this and that. I loved Essence 20. Like, there's like, you don't make books like this where it's like Transformers and all these different Transformers, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, My Little Pony. You don't need to have dedicated systems for these. Just make them D&D. Like,
just make it, so as it says here in the bottom of the article, it was like, why not for Transformers, use Cartoon Action Hour. And for Power Rangers, Mutants and Masterminds. Like Mutants and Masterminds, that's what Star Trek Adventures is based off of? That 2D20-ish system?
No. It's funny because Mutants and Masterminds is a D&D hack.
Oh, okay.
Or at least it was originally. I don't know what it is now. But the original version of Mutants and Masterminds was a D&D hack. So it's kind of funny that they then like, well, what about this other game? I would argue there's a cipher system game called Unmasked that I always thought would be really cool for Power Rangers because it talked about like if you took too much stress, you would unmask. And I always thought that was like a cool analogy for like when
they got hit really hard and they would demorph.
And they demorph. Yeah. I always thought that was like a cool mechanic for that. But the problem is, and this is why you don't do this thing here, is because nobody plays it. Because hold on, scroll back up to the top of the article. You know, when people think RPG, their mind wanders to Dungeons and Dragons.
Immediately, yeah.
Like, it's the same reason that I tried playing the Marvel RPG with kids because it's like, oh yeah, Marvel Comics, they're going to want to play it. None of them wanted to show up. None of them came to my table to play the Marvel game because they were there. They wanted to play D&D. They knew how to play D&D. They had made characters for D&D. They wanted to play D&D, and no amount of forcing was going to make them play anything other than D&D. Like, that's what like RPG people forget, is that it doesn't matter how good or how appropriate your system is for the setting. You're not going to get the large amount of people that you would if it's D&D. And like, yeah, so it's like, yes, you can make that system and you may get a bunch of hardcore fans and it may be good, but that doesn't mean it's going to sell.
Yeah. Mutant Chronicles was the
Mutant Chronicles. Yes, that is
the
one.
other 2D20 system.
Yes, that is correct. I mean, heck, the Stargate game was D&D 5e. I just wish they put out more content for that. They based it in season 6. And for me, like, all the cool stuff happens after that. Like, give me an Atlantis book.
Yes.
All right.
Give me oh, yes. Give me a city ship mechanic.
Yeah.
In there. I can fly or I can shoot. I can't do both.
So, speaking of things getting written in D&D, going to the next story, and I even put in here I found, oh, never mind, that's the next story. I found a genie and wanted to become immortal, but I ended up becoming a baseball referee instead. That's what I get for pausing at the wrong time when I wish to be a vampire. Speaking of, hey, why don't you make your own system? Vampire the Masquerade gets its own crossover D&D book, complete with full vampire class. Hey, remember how Vampire the Masquerade has its own game?
Yes.
Okay, well, now they're going to be in D&D.
Well, there you go.
I wonder why. D&D Beyond has announced its third-party releases for Q3, and there's a surprise licensing deal hidden inside. Vampire the Masquerade Bound by Blood is a new 5.5e book published by Ghostfire Gaming in partnership with Vampire the Masquerade license owner White Wolf. Between this and the Call of Cthulhu book that's also on D&D Beyond, D&D is now crossed over with two of its most famous rivals because it sells. Like, that's just free money for them. Like, they can keep, and that's even better because White Wolf, or the people that own the license, aren't even making the book. They just license somebody else to, like, hey, can you just shovel this into D&D 5e while we're working more on the mainline content? And then, like, that book's going to sell. They're going to get money for it. And they didn't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a win-win. So
I like that. I like that. One day, everything will be Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. According to a D&D Beyond blog post, Bound by Blood welcomes the World of Darkness into the multiverse with a new Kindred class. This is a full vampire class powered by blood points, disciplines, and the ever-clawing beast inside. Ghostfire Gaming's book also apparently features a Dark Ages adventure. It goes up for pre-order in June with the release in July. And it and the 7 other third-party titles announced will pad out the D&D release schedule. We just got Ravenloft the Horse with them, but there's only 3 more official source books to fill out the year. So, yeah, like, this is, I mean, granted, it's a D&D Beyond release, so it's not even, I mean, maybe it'll get a full book. Actually, I wonder, do they have link on here? Maybe they don't. I'd be curious to see if there's a physical release or if it's just the PDF. Because even that's like even better. Because that's, you know, like, if you're not even having to pay for the printing of these things, like, that's just free money. In fact, at that point, everybody should just make D&D knockoffs just to, like, make some spare cash. Like, Star Wars should make D&D versions and, like, PDFs, you know, just cuz. Why not?
All the FFG stuff?
Yeah. Just make a 5e version. Like, what? You don't even have to put that. It just needs to be okay. It doesn't even need to be good. It just needs to be okay. But that just gives you that shot of money that you can use to put out the stuff you really want to do.
That's the only other, when we talk about RPG systems and all that stuff, and it's like 100%. You say RPG, D&D is going to pop into my mind. Half a second later, FFG is going to pop into my head.
Yeah,
with
because
Star Wars and Genesis.
That's the game you like.
That's the game. It's a game I also know. I like D&D. I also like Star Wars.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's where people like they have their game that they really like out of D&D, because maybe eventually you get tired of playing D&D. You're like, what else is out there? And that's when you start exploring some of these alternate things.
Pop into Genesis.
Yeah. All right. All right, coming up on the end here. I didn't even write a joke for this last one because I thought the idea was kind of a joke in and of itself. The fact it even needs to exist. D&D introduces Community Advisory Group to challenge Wizards of the Coast and bring in new ideas. So, Dan Ayoub unveiled the D&D Community Advisory Group, a panel that has been helping D&D course correct. Announced a new wave of initiatives for the game. This includes a goal of opening a dialogue between the community and designers and the formation of a community advisory group. So, as well as some of the goals and steps the group has already taken. So, helping push D&D in the right direction from a community perspective, meaning the broader D&D community. This includes people who play the game, who teach others, and who run stores where people play D&D, organize events, D&D creators, YouTubers, etc. They formed last December. He's met with leads across the team to talk about early concepts and D&D Beyond tools, but also to challenge their approach. One example of this was the pushing back on the lack of a roadmap, which they said unveiled plans before sharing the roadmap 2 months ago. Because remember, we were having that, like, nobody's introduced a roadmap of, like, what's coming out soon. I think we talked about it, like, 3 months ago, and then it was, like, a week later that it came out.
Roadmap, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, this is good news, but it's one of those, the fact that this even needs to exist is kind of like you're dancing around the problem. The problem is you've got a CEO that won't shut up about what he thinks D&D needs to be like. And I'm not even talking about Wizards of the Coast CEO. I'm talking about Hasbro CEO that we talk about at least once a week in one of these articles where he's talking about D&D needs to be with AI. D&D needs to be a live service model. D&D needs to have weekly drops and less books or whatever. And then you've got players going like, that's not how we want the game.
Yeah, no.
So, but in a sign that this may be actually working, I wanted to make a new insect character for my newest D&D campaign, but it turns out I wasn't subscribed to D&D Beyond. So we talked about, I think it was specifically in one of the last couple episodes, we talked about like all this new content that was dropping on D&D Beyond. You couldn't share it even if you were subscribed to the tier that lets you content share. Well, now you can. So D&D Beyond turns on content sharing for new drops after fans complain in droves. It's almost like there was that community feedback you were hoping for.
Hey!
Turned on content sharing for its new D&D Drops initiative. They should just call it Dungeons and Dragons and Drops. D&D. So here's your triple D.
And drive-ins and dives.
Yeah. Enabling master tier subscribers to share the new spells, monsters, maps, and magic items they receive with these weekly drops with the rest of their party. 9 days after they acknowledged that it made the wrong choice by not enabling this from the beginning. D&D Beyond Accessible executive producer said there would be an update in the feasibility of content sharing in the next few weeks. Turns out, feasible. Currently, you can't share maps content from D&D Beyond's official virtual tabletop, but all the player options and monsters are transferable. That's fine. The GM is really the only one that needs the maps content anyways.
Yeah.
That tracks. Oh, but apparently the new update explains the map stuff will be on there by next week. So even that's coming. So, and this was, I forgot when this was. So even that by now could have changed. Given that a major benefit of paying for a Beyond subscription was that instead of just writing things down on paper for free is ease of use, it's not hard to see why fans kicked up a stink about not being able to share it. So
It's more of it not being able to use one. Some people are probably using the master tier for that exact reason.
What?
To be the D&D guy
Yeah.
and share, buy it all and share it with everybody.
Yeah. That's what
and
I
then
did.
to have that functionality be no.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the great things about it's why I pay for the master tier, because like I was running a D&D game and I had a lot I was running a D&D game that like over half the people were brand new to D&D, and I didn't want to have to go, oh, they liked the D&D Beyond, and they were just like, oh, it sucks because I can only like make this one class. I'm not having all these options or whatever. And it's like, okay, give me your email address, add you to the game, and now I pay not much. I want to say it's like $30 every 6 months or so. And
yeah, that's good.
yeah, like it's like or it could be like $30 for like every it might be $10 a month, something like that.
Okay.
But like $10 a month so that they don't have to buy like the $50-$60 rule. Each one of them doesn't have to buy the $50-$60 rule book. Like that's worth it. And especially if like everybody's, if we were doing like if we had a regular D&D group where we've been playing the same game for like 2 years, like how are you not? Because then even if you're not playing the same game, and it's like, oh, I want to do my own game, now you can make, like, oh, I want to make, like, hey guys, they just dropped some really cool like villains, like all those villainous character options that they did.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I don't think they've dropped them as official. That's still, I think, just in the Unearthed Arcana. But like if they drop those into the official, like, guys, let's be shiny. Let's be bad guys.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then now nobody needs to buy anything. It's all they got to do is just update their D&D Beyond app, and it's there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is, hearing them go back on this is great. I mean, this is also one of the things, Rooster Teeth, back in the day when, they announced that they were putting the second season of Genlock. It was going to HBO Now first, or HBO, whatever the hell it was called at the time.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, we're going to put it on there first, and then we're going to put it on our exclusive content platform named Rooster Teeth first. Whatever. And for that one thing, I didn't care because you still had HBO and I was on it.
Yeah.
And then when the most recent last season of Ruby came out, they were like, it's going to Crunchyroll exclusively. It's never going to be on our exclusive platform ever. And I was like, what the fuck am I paying you guys for?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I got the stuff a week in advance. I could wait an extra week to wait for it to go on YouTube, but I liked Rooster Teeth. I wanted to support them. And then you guys did stupid shit like that. So you stopped getting my money. And I'm sure you didn't listen to any of the comments. But here, D&D listened. So D&D is going to keep getting these people's money.
Yep.
You got to listen to your fan base, guys.
All right. So, because we've already gone a little long here, we're gonna do one story for Ask a Dirtbag Gamer, and we'll use this to close the show out here.
Gotcha.
Mainly because I believe it's the last one.
Okay. Oh, the one you're hovering over.
Yes. Not sure how to approach my players with concerns over metagaming. So, here, Philip, you want to read the first paragraph?
To the class or
yeah, just out loud.
Okay, are we gonna do it popcorn style?
Sure.
Popcorn, Chris. I'm a new DM, about 14 sessions into a homebrew campaign. Holy crap, dude, that's amazing to begin with.
By the way, I don't think you can call yourself a new DM after 14 sessions.
After 14, yeah. Players are enjoying it. We're liking the story. Running into issues with the player and how they react to NPCs. Some of it comes down to how I personally present the NPCs or have interactions. You got to change your voice, okay? What is it? Vendors are always French. Isn't that how we run some of our games?
Some of them.
Yeah. No scripted out conversations. That's fine. Just notes to go on who the NPC is, what they want. Players are bringing meta expectations to the table rather than playing as their characters when interacting with NPCs. They think every shopkeeper is secretly the BBEG waiting to pounce on them. That's just that's just good, security training. Like that. Who was that general? It was like, be kind, be respectful, have a plan to kill everybody you meet. Let's see. They're suspicious of any NPC that asks them questions or wants to have a talk that could lead them into getting the necessary info to drive the story forward. They are role play heavy, which is nice and lets them have fun, but it slows down the pace when they're talking to each other and ignoring NPCs or just pulling pranks. I know how it sounds. I don't have expectations as far as following a script for this session. I'm cool about us not getting through half of what I prepped, but I'm struggling to get story beats unfolding or develop character arcs when every stone I give them to turn over is left unturned.
Yeah. So, and like, just for example, they get defensive and say they're just doing what their character would do, and they refuse to help a gnome merchant on the road whose cart had been attacked, saying they knew I was just setting them up for an ambush and that somebody else would come to help eventually. Here, like, in this circumstance, the dirtbag and the normal answer are exactly the same, which is sometimes not taking the hook is still a story beat. Like it's the problem is you, where if they ignore the hook, you just disregard that storyline. Okay? Instead, it should be, okay, they didn't help that merchant, but what's the effects of that? Maybe that, like, other merchants aren't able, like, in the town, the no merchant on the road whose cart had been attacked. Okay, so maybe the prices in the next town are twice as high because they've not been able to get any of their stuff in because the merchants are being attacked on the road.
Yeah, there we go.
Or maybe the next town isn't even going to let them in because they've been having to deal with a bunch of raiders and they can't tell that the players aren't raiders. So, like,
they needed the good word from that merchant.
You're thinking it as they either have to take the bait or they don't. And then, like, that's like, okay, they either take the bait and, like, then the storyline goes off and this does the thing. The fork is not they take the bait or they don't, and then the story goes on bland. Like, the story does fork, but it's more of a, okay, but how? Like, also, maybe it was that like, some random shopkeep actually is the, say some shopkeep that they don't want to, that they are pulling pranks on and they don't trust at all. Maybe he's the king's, like, cousin's, brother or something like that, where he's got influence up high and now they can't get the resources they need because they were a dick to that shopkeep. So that's the thing, is, like, it's not okay, the story doesn't change. Like, everything should have an impact on your story.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
100%.
it should not be that the players don't take the hook and the story doesn't change. The players don't take the hook and the story gets impacted by that somehow.
Yeah.
So, and the best part is when they don't take 3 or 5 hooks. So you've got, like, that. There's actually a great talking about this where, like, I want to say it was either the Game Master's Guide to Collaborative Storytelling or it was the Lazy Dungeon Master. One of those books was talking about, like, it took the concept of clocks from Blades in the Dark, where you would, like, each faction would fill in a clock, and, like, you were trying to fill in your clock before the opponents filled in their clocks, and that determined how the story went.
Okay.
Where it's like every time, like, oh, say you pass an encounter, a social encounter, then maybe that the NPCs or the faction or the pirates or the bandits or whatever, they don't get to fill in a slice of their clock. But maybe your NPCs fail, and instead of like say you're traveling, and instead of like making them roll every few minutes for like how well your travel is going, where you make them roll, you cut to black. Okay, you're now here, but the roll didn't affect the roll didn't affect when you were going to cut. The roll affected of what happened in that black. Where it's like, okay, yeah, you took, you failed that navigation check, so you took an extra 2 weeks to like navigate here and around, and instead of making us role play out those exhausting 2 weeks and a bunch of mundane encounters that no one's really going to have any fun with, instead, what it means is that the bad guy he had 2 free weeks to do what he had planned in the city, and now he's not even in the area anymore. So that's those are things that those are the kind of the advanced GMing stuff that I've been dealing with recently. So, that's a good place to end. I like
that is. Yeah, I'm reading through some of these responses. I mean, so like the where was it? It was the cart in the road. Okay, I'm always gonna think it's a trap.
Yeah.
Philip, the player, is always gonna think that some random ass cart broken down on the side of the road is a trap. Because Chris fucking killed me that one time. I'm gonna metagame that, but I'm gonna go. I'm probably still gonna walk up and poke the horse. Philip, what's your passive perception? Fuck. And there's a lot. There's a lot of.
Somebody else got to the same thing I was talking about. Bring the encounters they missed back into the story.
Oh.
Let the NPC survive and have a very influential friend who's approval.
Give me a name.
Blubberland 01.
Blubberland 01. There he is. Okay. Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, people are like, this is an in-game solution to an out-of-game problem. I'm like, yeah, but no. You were talking about, like, metagaming, so change the way you're gaming.
Yeah.
Also bring up unexpected counters where trust has no impact, such as an ambush at night, to show them that their carefulness has limits and is biased and narrow-minded, and you can never be prepared for everything. I like that. That is great too. That is such a better like in addition to what I said, that's also a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things don't go the expected way, and those situations create great stories. Indeed.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Warning.
Whoops, that's the wrong one. There we go.
There we go. All right. That's been our show. We want to thank the other person in stream watching this. I don't know it's probably just Hoser or Rusty Beetle. I don't know. Somebody's in there. But thanks for checking us out. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for putting up with our shenanigans. If you like what you see, you got to check us out at boardsandswords.com. That's got the links to our streaming channels and our streaming schedule. Also, if you want to help support the show, you got to check out patreon.com/boardsandswords. You can help support the show. You get access to a whole bunch of really cool stuff that we do behind the scenes. After so there's this little on-air insignia right at the top. When that goes off, that's when the shenanigans ensue. Okay, and you get access to that stuff, but only by being a patron at patreon.com/boardsandswords.
Or we still have it on air, and then I just set it offline later. So, hey, FYI, if you still want some of that stuff, sometimes it pays to watch the show live. All right, send us feedback. Let us know. Like I said, I'm compiling a list of who we got for the rest of the year. Who do we need to have? Who's on next? You decide. Email us feedback@boardsandswords.com. Otherwise, I'm just guessing here.
Who won? Who's next?
Thank you. That's what I was going for. Also, I'm thinking of
You decide.
I'm also thinking, because again, my brain only works in memes and quotes. Down Periscope, where he's like, "You think you'd better get up here? I'm just guessing here."
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram at Boards and or Swords, and like Philip mentioned, boardsandswords.com for links to everything else, like our Patreon. Check it out. Help support the show. We are back, baby, and we are ready to kick some ass with some schedules and stuff. Hopefully things are in a better. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. Next time it's just going to be us again, unless I can find somebody else to do the thing. It's also going to be right after the 4th, so I doubt I'm going to get somebody. So doesn't matter. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and sometimes that story goes in weird directions. Yay! Oh, man.